GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
Right, let's do this thing now.
Let's do this thing now. It's Friday. We're doing it a bit late. Thank God. No, holy Jesus for that. My God. For those who are listening to the real show during the week, you know, the one that the broadcasting authorities of Ireland will be listening to make sure we don't step out of line. Well, notice that Jim McCabe went missing. What?
I didn't go missing.
He did. He was missing in action. We had to go up to Roundwood in a Jeep and shoot a dart into his back and get him, wait till he fell asleep and bring him back to Radio Nova. And thank God he's back. I'll tell you something. It's a rough, it's a straight.
Shoot it, unbelievable.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
you can't take a personal day without there being absolute consternation.
You did, but
and I wouldn't mind when it came back. You'd changed everything around. There was all sorts of new bits.
There's
and
all
stuff
new bits.
Going
Yeah,
on.
I didn't do that. Now I'm not allowed to touch anything. I don't know who was doing all that shenanigans with your side of the desk. I knew I'd get fucking blamed for it though. I knew it. I knew stuff would change. I was there. He'll come in now and he'd be raging.
What's he got to do?
And he'd be asking me questions I can't answer. Who's after changing this? I don't know, Jim. I don't even look at it when you're doing it. I don't know what's going on. But it's gas, isn't it? You get so used to a thing. And then you're gone. Dee was in, of course. She's brilliant. I really got on with Dee, actually. She's great crack. But you know, it's you know the way you don't know how to be talking to a new person and you'll be there, how's it going and everything? You know, that way. And where, you know, whereas...
Which, I mean, talking for you at the best of times is, you know, because normally kind of like your preferred kind of mode of communication is like, I'll be looking into my phone.
I'll be looking into my phone.
If there's anything urgent, shout at me.
I'm over here busy looking for extraordinarily good content for the radio show in my handheld device.
Of course you are.
Yeah, you know, that's what I'd be doing.
Even the weird sounds that you'd be coming out of your phone that never make it onto the show, but still, I'm sure you were probably doing a bit of research.
Well, you need a break every now and then, even in the research, don't you know? But yeah, I have to say, it's great to have you back. Holy Mother of Jesus. You know what I mean? And I think...
That's only because I'm quite prepared to follow you around, tidying up.
What are you talking about? I don't even know what that means.
It's only because you know that they're... Well, look, who am I going to get now to write an apology letter for me? Jim, you'll take care of that, won't you? There, yeah. Now, listen, I may have done that wrong. Will you sort that out, Jim?
Oh, Jesus. I'd never talk to you into that. Will you say sorry for me? What? Why would I say sorry for you? Because Jim normally
That's the way it happens.
That's the way it
works.
works.
Part of the job.
This is the time where I run away and you do the apologies.
Mind you, see, you have to. You've changed recently, though. Obviously, the last year and a half. Obviously, with the
children.
The benefits of children. The benefit, I suppose, from our point of view, it forcing you to be more responsible.
Yeah.
Now you can't kind of run away.
No,
I know you do try.
I do try. Yeah. And I definitely take inappropriate breaks. You know. Where I see a man running across the garden with the scissors and he'd be alright for a minute. But you know yeah. I'm in the middle. I'm researching the show at the moment. You know, by looking at the price of tyres for a motorbike. You know, these type of things. You know.
And this weekend, isn't it? This weekend you've got they've literally had to fly in help from America. Eh?
Yes, we had the mother-in-law's in.
Yeah,
we're not married or anything, but she's still the mother-in-law.
Yeah,
and she's in. Yeah, she's in. It's brilliant, isn't it? The best thing about you don't really appreciate a mother-in-law until you have children. You know. You wonder what the point of them is. And then children arrive onto the scene.
But mind you, your take on it now, I have to say, to give you credit, your take on it is more... Because in fairness, a lot of people would see, you know, the traditional kind of jokes about mother-in-laws and everything was that they'd be interfering and judgmental. Whereas you were absolutely delighted to have somebody who's hands-on.
Yeah, she's like, if there's anything you need me to do on there, get in the fucking way. All week.
Yeah, just do everything that I'm sort of supposed to do.
Every time I go to pick up my own child, you jump in and scoop them out of the way. Every time. See him, he's got a scissors running across the garden. What are you doing?
Yeah. Get up, will you lazy son?
You should be interfering in that. Now, you know, you should be over there. Yeah.
So you're delighted to have a bit of interference.
Oh, it's great. And she's so into it, you know, because she doesn't get to see them all the time as well. That's a huge... So she's so into it. She loves them, you know.
Yeah. And obviously you take the view, you know, listen, no, you should have your time with them. Because let's face it, you're probably going to have 6 months to recover from it when you go home.
And don't worry about it. And you know the way you're still on Boston time. Why don't you just stay up at night with them?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
you stay on the same clock so when you go home...
Yeah.
You won't
in fact, the only thing that would probably be better for you, Mrs. Mother-in-Law, would be, why don't you take them over to the States with you for a period of time?
I think it's important they explore their American roots.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly the first, 12 to 14 years.
And then
or something like that.
I'll follow you over. fully over.
Yeah. I'll be there shortly.
Yeah, but you want to get the finger out because he still has that fucking scissors. But it's like
because the mother-in-law thing was much maligned, wasn't it?
It was very maligned.
But you never really got the father-in-law thing.
No,
that
because
never became
let's be honest.
Yeah,
he never gave a shit, and that's the truth, isn't it? You know, the only your father-in-laws, if they turned up at all, they turned up and did the worst thing a father-in-law can do is just be judgmental from a distance. You know, it's like that's the thing. Your father-in-law comes in and he goes, "Oh, you're still telling jokes for a living, eh?"
Right.
Yeah, I'd say that's. What exams did you pass for that again? Where'd you go to college? Where was it you got to college? You're going, I went to the Clown College of Ireland, actually. If you don't fucking mind.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, I got a rubber trophy at the end. To say I'm fully qualified.
I wish that existed. I wish comedians had to go to the Ronald McDonald Clown College and got a rubber trophy at the end of it.
Yeah.
And a giant pair of shoes.
You let the air out of your trophy in front of everyone at the end. Yeah. It's a balloon animal award.
That would be
a
balloon you get that slowly deflates.
It deflates as you have to get your speech finished before the balloon animal is empty.
Now man, we need to start. That's our next business.
Be there. Yeah,
Clown College.
And where's your qualification? I never see your qualifications on the wall. They're not on the wall. They're on the fridge. Done with crayon.
Yeah, exactly. Held on with a magnet.
Yeah, I'd even. All right, yeah. Years of biking, I am. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But that's it.
You'll be wanting a hand with the wedding payments, I suppose. No, I'm actually all right.
Because if anything, the father-in-law kind of thing is nearly seen as put upon.
It is. You're right.
Traditionally,
that's the unfairness of men and women thing. There.
Traditionally, the mother-in-law was the subject of all the jokes.
Yeah,
and seen as interfering and overbearing and all that. And the father-in-law was seen as this poor put upon,
the poor man,
kind of who ended up having to pay for everything. And
just wants peace and quiet. It's not his fault that his new son-in-law is a fucking idiot. It was always that.
He just has to deal with the aftermath.
Yeah. All he wants to do is watch 1970s comedies on his own, and he's not allowed to do it. And he was the good guy.
He'd rather be in his shed.
Yeah, he was the good guy, and then the wife comes in and goes, "I don't think they're raising that child right at all." He's like, "Oh God," the kind of guy going, you do everything right and it still doesn't work.
I think the stereotypes have changed, though.
Definitely, they have. Yeah. It's the other way around now, if anything, isn't it? Like the mother-in-laws are brilliant. You can't live without them. You need them so much, and they're so helpful.
Everybody's parents, but for a child minding.
And people can't buy their own houses. They're letting full families come into their homes again and acting like nannies and helping the mother go to work and taking it on the road. They're so amazing. Whereas the father-in-law's like, I thought you would have all fucked off by now.
Yeah.
And you're like,
just
Dad, I'm trying.
Just keep them out of the shed. All right.
And Bar, the other day, where the old father-in-laws were supposed to pay for it, he's like, you're not getting a fucking penny out of me. I paid my money. I did my job. I gave you every chance and you're still living in the garden. I don't want any of this,
It's not my fault you picked that Clown College agent.
Yeah. You're going out with Coco Beware, or whatever his name is. Running around the back garden.
That's typical. You couldn't have gone for Coco Chanel, no. You had to go for Coco the Clown.
Look at him out there catching flies with his teeth. Look at him. A nitwit.
Oh, man.
So it's actually changed. It's gone totally the other way.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, in a very sort of broad sweeping statement type of thing.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is obviously the whole kind of correctness now as well. Nobody really is the butt of jokes anymore, I think. Unless you make them.
No.
Unless it's about yourself.
Yeah,
that's about the only safe place you can go with a gag is to make yourself the butt of the joke.
Yeah, and even then you have to be careful.
Why? In case you upset yourself.
In case you upset yourself, because mental health's a big thing.
Actually, you're right. Somebody would get offended.
That's a big thing.
Somebody would get offended on your behalf.
It's happened.
If you were slagging yourself, somebody would step in there and go, "Oh, I didn't realise the damage you're doing to you."
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Remember times we'd be messing and all on here, you and me, and I'd be saying, remember I lost a plot or whatever. I'd say I went, when I had me, and then I say I went a bit mad there. People go, I'd really appreciate you not describing your experiences. It's my experience.
Yeah. I was talking about me.
I wasn't talking. I literally was talking about my own experience. Like it's just,
Well, I think you should be a bit more responsible.
Is it not your job to be very careful with your language as a representative or as an activist? I'm like, I'm not an activist. I'm telling jokes
So you can't even
at my own expense. At my own expense.
You can't even be the victim of your own gag.
No. Yeah, and then but that's and that's why I love telling the story. You know, people say men don't talk to each other, and men never talk to each other, and they never say anything to each other. You know? And but then that's because if sometimes even when you're talking to each other, you can still be accused of saying the wrong thing. One of my favourite moments, I always say it in the talks, though, it was when I came in here, and it was the first bad day I had after I'd had my episodes, right? And I came in, I was having the best few weeks ever. I says to Jim, "Geez, I'm not feeling great today." And he goes, "Here, you're not going mad again, are you?" And I say, well, that's us literally talking to each other in our own language, sharing these. We're safe in each other's company. We can say anything to each other without judgment.
Regularly do.
Well, yeah, and regularly do without any judgment whatsoever, and it's grand. But somebody else goes, "Did you say he's mad?" I said, "No, he didn't. He didn't actually. He didn't. This is none of your business situation."
Yeah. It is. Oh, yeah. Everybody is willing to put themselves into other people's business nowadays. You can't do a screed.
Yeah.
Which is why I've turned into the shivering nervous
shivering wreck. Shiver me timbers.
Wreck of a man.
Yeah.
That's afraid to say anything to anyone.
Jellyfish McCabe, they call him these days.
I'd say something. My future lies in mime, I think.
But it's also, though, and you point this out fairly regularly, it's not that you can't say anything. Some people can't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fair to say, I get away with a little bit more than you do from time to time.
A little bit more. If I said about 5% of the stuff you say, and that's the stuff on the radio.
Yeah, on the radio, yeah.
If I said about 5% of that,
yeah,
I wouldn't have lasted this long.
My favourite thing ever is like when we've went on the radio and I've said something that would get you in awful trouble, right? But I've said it.
Yeah.
And somehow I've said it and gone home and you still end up in trouble for letting me say it. Someone go, "Don't be letting him be saying that now. You have to jump in there if that's coming. Like, don't, you know."
And all of those jokes we make about me apologising or whatever.
Yeah, that's a true story.
They've come out of real scenarios where it's like, where you've gone, "Well, I'm not saying sorry for nothing."
Yeah. Well, that's because I said something outrageous one time that I actually can't repeat.
No,
I said it on the radio.
Because there's some institutions you know. Yeah, I'll tell you something.
Yeah, I says they be whipping bats and all this and everything and. Do you remember whipping bats? I said.
Yeah, there was a definite black magic vibe going on.
Anyway, there was
I'm not talking about the chocolates.
Yeah, there was and honestly, I didn't think. Yeah. It doesn't matter anyway. It was a stupid thing to say, I suppose. And then a man, and I'll never forget the man's name, got really upset about it. Can I say his name?
I don't know because it's a very famous name. It wouldn't be one
same
that
name as one of the biggest pop stars in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't real. What's happening? And
did you think you were being pranked initially?
I just didn't know what was going on. And then we were told we had to apologise. And I says, no. And then when Jim, you have to apologise for him. And he did.
Yeah. I had to read it out and everything.
Yeah, I don't think anybody believes anyone is out there whipping a bat. Nobody's whipped a bat, I think, in the history of the world.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the other thing, isn't it? It's kind of like it's like the Ricky Gervais thing about just because you're outraged about something, it doesn't make you right. Your outrage doesn't guarantee that you're kind of right about something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also, like, the insinuation that somebody might be doing something. It wasn't because, like, what we said and all that day. It wasn't about race or it wasn't about sexuality or gender. It wasn't about anything like that. It was me saying one particular person whips a bat, and I don't know how anyone would think that was true. Yeah. I just don't know how anyone would think that was true. I just don't understand that.
Wow.
That one person go, "I certainly do not whip a bat. And I'm in that building over there. I've never done it."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
it would have been better if that would have been the ultimate end to it. It would have been fantastic if there had been a person that actually had exactly earmarked or exactly kind of resembled the what you had described, which was completely ridiculous.
It was, yeah. Now, I did say kissing donkeys as well, but I suppose that's a different thing. Maybe that was the one they got upset about.
That might have been what tipped them over the edge.
Maybe he didn't like that, yeah, but there you go.
Man. And now, I suppose now as well, the mad thing about it is now you get, like, because the cancelled thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still don't fully even understand that.
As in, you lose your job and you can't get another one because you got stigma type of thing. Is that it?
Yeah. Like, you could, it's not even sort of
like...
Oh,
don't worry, we'll get there.
Like, an apology nowadays wouldn't actually cut it.
No, it makes it worse a lot of times.
Yeah. You'd have to kind of, I don't know what, you just have to disappear.
Yeah. And then imagine having to disappear because you said a fella whips a bat. Imagine you have to do that. Well, you had to just change your whole life. You had to disappear. You're there going, where's he gone? He's never been seen since. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, the best part of that would be...
I heard he was in Bolivia last time I was chatting to him.
Best part would be years later when, somebody turned around and said, whatever happened to that lad? And they get you back on to, so what happened? What was the reason for your disappearance? Well, I said this thing about a lad whipping a bat.
And they'd be like, mother, jeez, you're after getting us done now as well. We're all done. Again. Yeah, because some celebrities.
It was during the famous bat whipping era of the early 2000s.
But like you said though as well, and you're right though as well, because it's again to bring your point up. Some people say they've been cancelled and they haven't.
Yeah.
Some people say, I've been totally cancelled. And you're like, you're not cancelled, you wanker. You work on GB News. You've just been given your own show, a column in some right-wing newspaper. Yeah. You're shiting around. I've never seen less of you or more of you. Whatever one of them is appropriate. I've never seen fucking more. I see you everywhere now, and you're walking around like a wanker with an extra 3 million quid saying you're cancelled. You've not been cancelled. You're using this as a trampoline.
Yeah.
And then there's the minor sort of fellas, or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go like, there's a fella now, he kissed the donkey and whipped the bat. Gone.
Yeah,
never heard of again.
You're out of here, pal.
Never heard of
you're
again.
Out of
He
here.
said, but I need me €200 for me gig. Out. Shove it up your hole, you're gone. That's and that's so it again. It depends who.
Yeah. So I think if
your status really,
if this episode of the podcast has proved anything, it's just kindness to bats and don't be over kind to donkeys.
Yes.
Don't be over amorous to donkeys.
Now don't be cruel to them either.
No,
say that.
Treat them well. But you know what I'm just saying. Within
no Frenchies.
Let the great PJ Gallagher's words. Be your kind of way forward. Be your light into the future. Don't be whipping bats or kissing donkeys.
As two people who are minor enough to not be able to use cancellation as a trampoline, we would encourage kindness and decency to all donkeys and bats.
Correct.
Just not minor celebrities. We don't mind them.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
A well-defined pant may well add to your sex appeal.
I tell you.
But it mightn't be the most important thing now if you want to kind of make yourself appear, hello.
Yeah, want to get that sort of spice back in the relationship? Maybe you've retired into 3 sorts of things, that maybe ways of doing things or something like that.
Yeah, get the rubber gloves out. We don't mean it like that.
Not for spanking, for cleaning. Apparently cleaning is now the number one way to make yourself look attractive in the sort of give us a little hug there way of relationship again. Wow. They say cleaning is that there's something about cleaning that makes you seem sexy. What is it? Well, apparently not only is it you at work in in your positions and everything, but also cleaning is an act of basically service in a way that you're like, I want your life to be easier. You say it to each other when you're doing it, right? But so when you're cleaning, you're not cleaning just for you, you're cleaning for everyone in the house. And it's your way of saying, look how nice I'm making the place for us, for everybody. This is genuinely, this is
and
actually
this works
in the paper
both ways
today.
now. This is men, women and all. It's any cleaning, it works.
Oh, there's no gender or anything attached to this yet. This is anyone like you went.
Get scrubbing.
Yeah, get scrubbing. So it's a great thing to be caught in the act. Apparently that's quite attractive. So when
you've just caught me.
Oh my God, I can't believe I got such a fright. I was just
doing the presses.
I was just rinsing the tumble dryer.
Wow. So the secret to sexiness is cleanliness in the house.
Yeah. So you bring down your penny and all coming in. Oh my God, I was steaming the cups. I didn't know you were there. Things that you'd be doing in the house.
All right.
Just boiling the toothbrushes. Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that, Derek.
And
does my life.
All cleaning is equal, is it? So floors, hoovering, whatever, dusting,
and
any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, hanging the carpet and giving it a beat in the back garden. All of it. It's all of it counts.
That's
the
secret to it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to make it very attractive. It's supposed to reinvigorate certain things. Now, some would say this is just a thing they tell Egypts, so that they'll go down and clean the house, and they go, I'm after cleaning the house top to bottom every day for a month. I haven't got so much as a Frenchie out of it. But either way,
Yeah,
everybody benefits.
Yeah, at least it's a clean house at the end of the day.
Even if it is a conspiracy, everybody benefits. You still get a clean house out of it. And you never know your luck. You might get an old Frenchie. You might get more. You might get... Oh, jeepers, you might get...
You might not be... The carpet might not be the only thing hanging over the line.
That's true. There might be those boiled toothbrushes. You could have the freshest breath in Ireland waiting for something.
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
If you like to celebrate with the idea, or something, not even celebrate, if you're somebody who always enjoyed, in fairness,
anything
we
at
do.
all.
Like we've often said, the idea of going to a nice restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And having a fine dining experience was always something that kind of, we enjoyed.
Oh, gee,
Never
we
got
do
the chance
love
to
it.
do it enough, but...
No, but we do like it when we get the opportunity. Like we like to live above ourselves a little bit, I think, sometimes. We pretend, that's absolutely just... I can taste the cinnamon and garlic and the chef's, that's not in it. Well,
we'll agree to disagree.
Fuses in a great way. Yeah, we'll have to agree to this is a great shift. Please don't come back to the table again. All of that. We do love all that.
But the whole dining experience, the whole restaurant experience, it could become very different for people.
Especially if you like steak. Apparently, there's reports now that steak is costing up to €50 in some place. So if you want a fillet steak, you go out, you want a fillet steak, whatever, 50 quid. Who can afford, or who can justify, even if you can afford it, spending 50 quid on a piece of steak? Yeah. And that's before you obviously, open your cans of wine. Open your what? Open your cans of wine.
Cans of wine.
Yeah, and have your bread and butter on the side and everything. But 50 quid. It's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think people are taking it off the menu for that reason. It's like there's no point in putting it on because nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah, they're taking it off the menu. One place, believe it or not, is charging 55 quid for a 200-gram roast centre cut of fillet. I won't name the places because I don't know why they're doing it. It's crazy. But you're right. You're right.
The thing about steak, though, as well, I have to say, steak always... I'm probably being unfair with this, right? But it was always one of those things that seemed like a bloke's version of kind of, a top meal. It was like
no,
a lad ordering a steak. Always felt like a lad who wanted to give us the most expensive thing on the menu there.
Yeah, it was a statement. Statement. You're making your statement, yeah. It wasn't it? I know one fella. We look at this man, Jason's dad,
Right.
And he was back in the day. And when he wanted to celebrate something, to live big, his thing was, we'll go down to Chinese for a steak and chips. Down to Chinese for steak and chips.
Chinese?
Yeah.
You preferred the steak out there?
That's what we do, yeah.
I knew a lad as well who was a similar lad. It wouldn't matter what the restaurant was. It could be Italian, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
He'd still go, give us the steak.
Steak and chips. What's it? Your friend called them Urban Cowboys or Saturday Night Cowboys.
Saturday Night Cowboys.
And they walk in, yeah. I mean, honestly, would you have... read the room, lads.
But it used to be a thing, didn't it? Like steak was that was the most expensive thing on the menu.
That was the way you showed off your fanciness, yeah. You see all them dinners you're having? Mine's going to cost €6 more. And you can't even stop me buying it.
Well, now they won't be able to. Now it's not there, or it's too expensive. 50 quid for, literally, that's... And then, as you say, most of these places, then you have to add on your little extras, even your little side of...
Of course you do, yeah, because they...
Veg and
especially
whatever.
with steak, would you like chips or veg? Or you go, well, no one says veg, So you go, right, I get chips and veg. Okay, that's more money. And would you like pepper sauce? Yeah, pepper sauce, that comes in.
Would you get chips in a place that charges 50 quid for a steak?
Get which?
Would you get chips in a place that charges you 50 quid for a steak?
I don't know I think it's kind of illegal to sell steak without chips. I think there's a law against that. I think it is. You have to provide the option. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think there's a law about that, somewhere. And then you get that, and then you add on. It's like, would you like onions, and would you like this, and then some places they give you the steak on the plate, and you have to dress the plate yourself for 50 quid. You have to. There's vegetables come out in a little decanter dish or something, and someone goes, who's eating a kung pao, goes, I'll have a couple of them. You won't, I'll break your fingers.
Yeah,
That's mine.
Yeah, you're not one for sharing food at the best of times.
No,
if you paid 50 quid for it, you're certainly not doing it.
And it's just a lump of meat, nothing else on it. Maybe a bit of sauce, and someone goes, can I have some of them carrots? You can have, I'll shove one up your nose. The rest of them, and you stick to your kung pao chicken, you €6 dinner, cheap little rice nibbling fecker you. This is mine.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
with insuremyvan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at insuremyvan.ie.
Often on the show, as you know, our Dr. Love over there in the corner, Mr. PJ Gallagher, Mr. Lubba, often has, kind of relationship-related advice. You know what I mean? If you're on the lookout for love and all these kind of things. But what happens if you're not on the lookout for love? What happens if you're just on the lookout for some fiery kind of bedroom antics?
What about some fiery antics? Like Jim says, let me tell you something. If you are a woman today listening to the show, and you're going out with a man who maybe in the attractive stakes doesn't quite live up to your par. Well, let me tell you, you don't know how lucky you are.
Really?
You must be the most satisfied person. And in news that it will be very upsetting to Jim McCabe, well, actually very good for Jim McCabe, hugely celebratory for Jim McCabe, it seems insecure men make the best lovers. It's the truth.
Well, check it out.
It's the truth. So, ladies, women.
Now, I mean, obviously, we won't tell you that because we're too insecure to actually tell you that. But you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, because
you'll have to know it in advance.
Yeah, she'll leave. Who knew we were with Jim and Tino de Bergerac over here the whole time?
Hello.
Look at that. Whoa. Yeah. Apparently, men who feel like they're less attractive physically than their partners are, which is most.
I would have thought, most people fall into that.
I would have thought so, but apparently not. Apparently there's lads out there who think they're the bee's knees. But,
really?
Yeah, apparently so. But if you're one of those, you feel, then you're much more likely to be a much more thoughtful, caring and the type of lover who wants the other person to have a jolly good time, really.
It's very true. It's very true.
I tell you, Jim's other half must be living in a constant state of smiling satisfaction. There must be no other way to put it. And
wow.
that's the case.
So that's the secret.
Yeah, that's the secret.
They do say watch out for the quiet ones.
Apparently they're really generous with the time that goes in before, if you know what I mean. And
the best part of this story is watching you trying to walk
battle with the language.
on the eggshells around the lingo.
Exactly, walking the tightrope of acceptable conversation here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the time before is a lot more comes into it from the insecure fella, and then the time after, a lot more of the cuddling and attention.
Was that all right for you?
Yes, I hope that was very good. I've made toast and there's a bag of marshmallows under the pillow and all that, carry on.
Wow.
You know, there's all that, so yeah, great. Whereas lads who think they're all that or think they're equal, it's much more
they
of a
think
sort of...
You're lucky to have them.
No, didn't we?
Or the rest of us.
I hope you had fun, because let me tell you, that was better than the beans and toast I had yesterday at the same time. Wow. You know... yeah, so there you go. I mean, it's great. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? They always say the meek shall inherit the earth, isn't it? Darryl O'Brien used to have a joke that said, even if they did, what would they do with it?
Yeah.
And I guess now we know what they'd do.
They'd give it away. Sorry, I wouldn't be able to look after all of this, the world and all. I'll just give it back to you.
Oh, yeah,
anybody want to hear, you should have it.
Oh, God. I don't deserve that at all, though. I don't deserve that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's good news. It's about time, you know.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't
it? About time there was a bit of good news. About time Jim got his kind of, got his moment in the sun.
Oh, God, I tell you something. Jim, he'll be uncontrollable now. Like, he'll be walking around impresario. It'll be a new way of asking.
I might actually start advertising my insecurities. I might actually start, kind of...
Oh, my God.
That's not a very good idea. Yvonne would frown on that.
Oh, my God.
I suppose.
It'd be like a site for women. Instead of OnlyFans, they'll have Only Gyms. Where you look up fully clothed men who are just
too embarrassed to show you their body.
Too embarrassed to do that, but they just want to tell you how great you are.
Tell you.
Yeah.
There's a winner if ever there was one.
All the women there. I was on Only Gyms there last night. Oh, my God. He had me up all night. You're gorgeous. And I don't deserve you. And... I'd say you're so sound as well, and
wow.
Gee, it was unbelievable. Yeah, God, I'm on a monthly subscription with him. He's unbelievable. Yeah.
I assume you would.
He even gave me the money back at the end.
I assume you wouldn't fall into this category,
I'll be honest with you now. It's not something I would have been too concerned.
You don't struggle with You don't struggle with kind of self-opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah. They say, it's fine line. Again, like, it's a fine line, isn't it? I wouldn't lie. I know I'm not as attractive physically. My ears being in the wrong places and everything. The jeans that don't fit and that. But I will. But Well, I still feel like I deserve to be in the activity. I do. I
deserve to be in the activity.
I do. I feel like we're both getting equal. I feel like we're both getting the same thing.
You don't feel you should be put outside or anything.
Yeah.
I'll call you in when I'm finished.
I'm not saying you're lucky that you have me, but who do you think you are, man?
You've been listening to Glory Days, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie, or on the Nova app.